So to get the air intake box off of the 8th generation Honda Civic, what you're first going to have to do is disconnect the battery, pull that out, and I noticed I disconnected the battery. The tray had a bunch of water sitting in there, maybe from when I washed it or something. But there's no drain holes, so I went and like screwed or drilled 3 or 4 holes in each corner, so it doesn't just hold water, giving you like a false reading. Say like if you got like a coolant leak or something, and you see water dripping, you may think it's from there, but it's not. I went ahead and did that. But what you're gonna have to do, if you notice, this metal plate is missing, and your battery sits on that, which sits on that, and you're gonna have 2 screws, your 12mm on the top, and then on the side you're gonna have 2 more. You just need a couple of extensions and you can get to it and take it off. That way you can have full access to under here. So now that we got it all cleaned out, as the air box was sitting down in there, kind of a large apparatus for just an air intake. I mean, you already have an air box here. There's probably some kind of I don't know, reason why they have a second air box. This was easy to take off too. It was 2 10mm, and I just used a little wrench and pulled it out from the bottom. You got to pull it out from the bottom. You can't pull it out from the top. It's just too big with this crossbar being right here. So what I'm going to do is take this plastic piping that I bought from Amazon and pipe it and route it to the front to where it's a true cold air intake. And it only costs 15 bucks. So instead of buying, you know, 200 or 120 or 300 or $400 pipe with the filter, I mean, you already have a filter. You just need a pipe. So the filter's not on the outside. Big deal. It's the air that you want coming from the outside. The filter doesn't necessarily have to be on the outside. I'd rather it be right there on the inside, staying dry. So I'm gonna pipe that in and show you what it looks like afterwards. So this is the existing pipe that hooks up right there, and then it bends and then it goes to the box that's down there in the corner. But what I'm going to do is just connect this 4-inch pipe right there with a clamp and run this hose where that box was and try to angle it back towards the front. Well, that was pretty simple. I put a clamp, and then I got some pretty strong, it's like cloth tape. It's not electrical tape, it's like cloth tape. And I just sealed it really good. This isn't like a high performance vehicle, so it really doesn't matter. You're not even gonna see that part anyways, but connects to that hose, that existing hose. That existing hose is 2 pieces. And then there's the $15 piping that I bought. Run down in there to where that box used to be. And if you look underneath, it's coming out right there. And it runs up right there to the front of the bumper. And it's running right behind this bumper to right there. Now it's up to you if you want to stick it out or tuck it back like behind this plastic right here, this black part. Or even cut a circle out if you want it to make it like ram air. But I figure the air going in here, it'll catch all that cold air and suck it straight in, instead of the original way that they had it where it sucked in hot air from up under the hood, you know, because you're sucking in air that's 180, 200 degrees under there, hot ass air. And I'd rather be sucking air that's half that, if not, I don't know, a third of that. So if you're running outside at 70 degrees, your air intake's gonna be sucking in 70 degree air instead of being right here where the original one is, where you suck it in hot air from under the hood. Now I know this hose is gonna warm up a little bit, so it's not gonna be exactly what it is outside, but it's gonna be, I mean, let's say this hose heats up and the 70-degree weather, air turns into, I don't know, with air rushing through it as much as it does, it might go up 10. Now if you're sitting at a light and it's sitting there getting hot, yeah, the first little bit of air rushing through there is going to be hot, but the cold air coming through is going to cool down that hose as it's moving in. And that's it, man. It's that simple. $15 of cold air intake. Now, one thing you do have to watch out about is rain. That's not going to catch any rain because it's facing towards the passenger side. It's not directly facing the front, but you do have to be careful about going through high water. Obviously, if you do this, you need to tell yourself, okay, I'm not going through any high water. Puddles you can do, you know, the tires hit the water and splash behind you. As long as the water's not higher than the bumper, you should be all right. And really, if you're running in water as high as the bumper, is that front lip right there, you're already up to your lug nuts in water, and that's not good at all for any car. You know, we're not driving trucks here where you can drive, you know, through whatever. You're driving cars. So if you see any high water, don't go through it. Puddles, hydroplaning, that ain't shit. That's normal. That's just low standing water, like an inch or two at the most, maybe 3 inches. And that's an extreme case of hydroplaning, but hydroplaning isn't going to affect this. It's not going to suck in any water. And we got cold air. So I'm going to secure the hose down there and make sure it doesn't rattle around and put everything back together. Alright, so we're all done. We got the air coming in from there. Goes underneath the battery box, into the fender, down to the front bumper, to right there. That's it. That's how you make a cold air intake for 15 bucks. Hey, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Hey, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching. All right, so I went and did a test ride, and feels great. You know, it's like if you got one of these cars and it's a manual transmission, and you get in it, say you leave work and the engine's cold and you take off, and that first run, you know, you get on the interstate or whatever, it feels like it has optimal power, you know, because it's still cold under the hood, and that's one of the reasons why it does that, and it feels so good. But afterwards it kind of feels laggy because afterwards, you know, you're sucking in hot air. Well, now it's gotten up to 160 degrees coolant temperature, 152 on the oil, and still not feeling laggy, so that's a plus. And also, if you can see my RPM gauge, it's reading about 7.5. It was a tad bit lower, and when it was lower, you'd get a little bit of vibration from the engine, and that would carry on through into the cab, and that was always a bit of a concern for me. I didn't like that vibration like sitting at a light with the AC on. But now that it's not sucking through that big old box and hot air under the hood, it seems like it brought the idle up back to what it used to be when it was new. Now, I didn't have this vehicle when it was new, but I read up on the specifications, and I think the idle is like, the RPM is supposed to be about 715. And here I just adjusted my my center, the readout right there to the RPM, and now look at it, 720, 730. So it's closer to 715. I don't have a video of what it was doing before, but it was definitely around 645, and being that low was causing it to vibrate. But now it's not vibrating, and that's a good thing. So yeah, the idle's good, it sounds good. I don't know if you can hear it. Let's see. It has more of a little bit of a hum, not too much. And another thing I did, since this is a high mileage vehicle, is you get a lot of carbon buildup in the exhaust, especially the catalytic converter. So down here at the bottom of the muffler, you can see it. There's a hole there and another one there. Two 1/2-inch holes. So I got another 1-inch hole in the back. I drilled to just allow more flow, because as carbon builds up, it restricts, right? And it didn't make, and that's a stock muffler. I'm not looking to make noise, and I just did that purely to free up some of that air. And it's really nice because it doesn't make noise at all, drilling those holes in the muffler. So there you go. Cold air intake, no restriction. I might look into maybe a less restrictive air filter. I just got a stock AutoZone air filter on there, a less restrictive air filter, but that'd be it. But there you go, little add into the video there. See y'all on the next one.